Denis Șmîhal, Prime Minister of Ukraine, thank you so much for this interview, exclusive for Digi24.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure and honor.
Prime Minister, Ukraine is still fighting against the Russian invaders, and the questions for the moment is, how are you in terms of human and military resources?
So today is 541st day of this full-scale aggression of Russia on Ukraine. We are still in war. We are fighting for our lives, for our families, for our homes. We are tired, but we are absolutely not exhausted. We have enough. We are a big country. We have enough big army to protect ourselves. We have crucial support from our partners, especially from Romania. So let me thank to Romanian people, government, president, for this unwavering support of our sovereignty, territorial integrity, and our fighting for our freedom and European values. So there is no problems with our protection. We have all needed human resources. We are absolutely motivated. I will repeat, we protect our land, our families, our lives. Russian forces are demotivated right now. Why? Because we are in our contraoffensive. It is not so fast because we save every life. Every life of Ukrainians is important for us. Because of this, we are very careful in our contraoffensive to save as much lives as possible. We have support from partners, ammunition, weaponry, and it let us hope and believe that we will win this war. We hope nearest times, but we will fight as long as it needed to protect ourselves and to liberate all our lands.
Well, since you mentioned the counteroffensive, of course there are voices saying that this counteroffensive is not in the point where it's supposed to be. But what is Ukraine expecting from this counteroffensive? What was the plan and what is achieved so far from the plan?
We are moving according to the plan in our counteroffensive. The terms are not so short as it is wished by us, by partners, but I will repeat, we save every life, we count every life. Because of this we are very careful, and it takes more time than we and partners count. We need more ammunition. We ask all the partners send us more artillery ammunition, more missiles, long-range equipment and missiles. It is important to destroy infrastructure and logistics and to have better conditions for counteroffensive. But for now, Ukrainian army liberate, since the beginning of the full-scale aggression, we liberate more than 50% of our occupied territories. We continue. For the last 2 months, we liberate more than 230 square kilometers. This is a huge territory, and we continue our counteroffensive, and every day we have successes, every day. It's small, but every day some square kilometers are liberated by Ukrainian army on the south. We continue seizing Bakhmut, and this is our goals: liberate south, destroy these 3 lines of protection and fortification which Russian army create in south of Ukraine. So all our goals are the same, and we know that we will achieve these goals during this counteroffensive nearest time.
Are the attacks on the Russian territory with the Ukrainian drones part of the same counteroffensive? What is the purpose of these attacks?
Very important issue is protect Ukrainian sky, because every night Russians are attacking us by missiles and by drones, by Iranian drones. Unfortunately, they use drones not for attacking our military objects, but for civilian objects and civilian infrastructure, energy infrastructure, grain infrastructure, ports, and unfortunately houses of just ordinary people. And every night we have injured and killed people, and especially children. Since the beginning of this full-scale aggression, Russians killed officially, information which we have approved, more than 9,500 civilians, among them 500 children, unfortunately. And this is what we have officially, but we don't know how many people, how many Ukrainians they have killed on occupied territories in Mariupol, for example. So we will see this all. Every day Russians make these crimes against humanity, genocide. And to protect ourselves, we need more air defense equipment. We ask about these partners. Any kind of this equipment, all partner equipment demonstrates great capacities, great effectivity, protecting our civilian objects, our cities, our lives. We used our equipment only for attacking military logistics and military infrastructure on occupied territories and near of our borders, but we need and we use only Ukrainian weaponry for destroying infrastructure, military infrastructure closely to Ukrainian border. All the equipment, our partners, is used only to protect Ukrainian territory. So we never used partners' equipment on Russia territory. So this is very important signal and issue for all of us.
And if at some point the Western partners will give you F-16, those planes will be used only to defend the Ukrainian sky territory, or you'll use them for attacking on the Russian soils as well?
So, first of all, let me thanks to Romanian government and Romanian people for this will and announcement to train Ukrainian pilots for F-16. Thank you so much, we appreciate this. And I should emphasize, and I should be very loud in these words, that we will use F-16 only to protect our air environment, our sky and our people. So we will use this only on Ukrainian territory, only for protection of Ukrainian sky. So it's crucially important for us. We never will use this to attack Russian territory. It's a rule for us.
Russians are more and more aggressive in the Black Sea, and especially now since the Green Deal is not working anymore, is not functional anymore. They attack civilian ships as well. In the same time, Ukrainian drones are also attacking, defending or attacking, it's two kind of words, this space. How can we all be safe in the Black Sea if we take into account the fact that there are also 3 NATO countries in the same shores?
Unfortunately, Russians are pirates in Black Sea. And they are trying the NATO possibilities and NATO unities in the Black Sea. They also in fact go out and destroy this Black Sea initiative for the grain export from Ukraine to bring destabilization in Africa and Middle East and Asia regions, and it will influence on Europe. Absolutely, we understand this and we know it. So the Russians create the food into the weapon, again, unfortunately. So all of this urge us to be very united and protect this grain corridor in the Black Sea. And August 16, the first ship goes out from the Odessa seaport, and now it's in Turkey. So it was successful. I know that we will continue. We ask for supporting and protection from our partners. We ask Romania, Bulgaria, we ask NATO to create protection for this grain corridor from Ukraine to export our grain, because Ukraine is one of the biggest exporter of grain for these countries which need this food. And avoid of food crisis is #1 task for all of us. Ukraine was and Ukraine is very responsible in our obligation to supply food and food security to these countries with which we have relations for long years, and especially for African and Asian countries. Because of this, I know that this grain initiative, which was signed by Ukraine, Turkey and UN, will be continued. Russia was not part of this agreement, but I urge all the partners, press on Russia, do not destroy this grain corridor, do not destroy global food security. It's crucially important, and no one pirate in Black Sea shouldn't try how NATO will go on with this food security, with global food security.
Well, of course, it's clear that the water transportation is cheaper and faster and better for grain transport, but Romania can provide quite a lot in this sense. You had a meeting today in Bucharest with the Romanian Prime Minister. What are the details of this discussion regarding the help that Romania is giving in this regard as well?
We have a very fruitful meeting today with Prime Minister of Romania, with ministers, and it's very important what we have agreed about. First of all, we would like to increase our cooperation in the Danube River logistics, in the railroad and automobile logistics. We also agreed about using of Constanța port for logistic and transportation reloading of Ukrainian grain. So it let us increase our export capacity twice with Romania, and it's important not only for Ukraine and Romania, but also for European Union and for other countries which are waiting for Ukrainian grain and food. We signed some agreements. First of all, it was a mutual statement of prime ministers about development of logistics and custom logistics between our countries. It's about automobile border points, railroad and water. It means Danube and sea ports border points. And also there is points about development of road and bridges infrastructure between our countries. I think that nearest time, with support of European Commission, we will increase twice or even more our infrastructure capacities. We also signed agreement about mutual changes by educational documents, what let our people as Ukrainians, so and Romanians, use their educational documents, diplomas, directly without any permissions or approvals in our countries to work according to their profession. It's crucially important. Why? First of all, it's important for Ukraine because of more than 125,000 Ukrainians now are hosting by Romania. They're refugees, mostly women and children. We are really very grateful and so much appreciate Romanian hosting of our Ukrainian refugees, and for them important to have this possibility to work and earn money, pay taxes in Romanian budget. And also it's important for Romanians during the future processes of recovery of Ukraine, because Romanian business and Romanian people will go to Ukraine and will help us and support us and make businesses in Ukraine recovering our country. So this document is very promising and very important for both our countries. We also signed another one note about creation of new one border point between our countries. So it's this complex of documents which we signed today, but we agreed about next steps for our cooperation.
Momentum.
And do you agree also on some deadlines for these steps? Because on our side, at least, we are used to have long terms for everything and a lot of delays.
Many things are agreed and have very clear dates for creation and implementation, but we will develop this and we'll make, we agreed with Prime Minister that we will make plan of our steps and projects. We will create special invoice from both of us, and these people will help us to manage these projects, and some of them should be implemented just this autumn, in October, in November, and I think we will see nearest time how we will develop these projects and our cooperation.
Well, you mentioned a lot of times during our interview the thank you for Romania. The question is, do the Ukrainian people, because at the level of politics we hear that a lot, but do the Ukrainian people know how much Romania is helping them?
Absolutely. Absolutely, we know it. Every Ukrainian knows how much Romania supports us. I just can you comment that your Prime Minister was one of the first official person who, in the first day of this full-scale aggression, asked our ambassador, how can we help you? Immediately. It was immediate reaction without any doubts, without any thinking that Ukraine will fall in 2 or 3 days for let's wait and see. So from the first days, Romania begins support Ukraine, and we have this support, strong support, multi-dimensional support. Thank you so much. And we know it, we feel it, and we have it. And we are really grateful for this. And I mentioned about our refugees. This is very important mentally, because it's people-to-people support, because many people are living in Romanian families, and it makes us more and more close, and it let us understand our mentality and our regional specifics. So I think that it is very important for our future relations, because all these families now are connected for forever. So it's important, and we are very grateful for
well,
this.
also Dynamo Kiev played recently in Bucharest for Champions League, so maybe people are still watching closely our country. Recently it was an unfortunate declaration of Jens Stoltenberg, Chief of Staff, saying that Ukraine should seize some territories if in exchange wants to be accepted in the North Atlantic Alliance. Of course, NATO reacted immediately, denying this is the case, but such declarations, this is not the only one, appears from time to time. What is your response as Ukrainian official to suggestions like this one?
So, Romania supports Ukraine territorial integrity and Ukraine's sovereignty. And it's very important that Ukraine is a sovereign country. Ukraine's borders are internationally recognized in 1991. So our purpose is to liberate our country in the borders as on 1991. And it's impossible to trade by borders or territories in change of something. So this official person tells that it was mistake, and it's impossible, not for us, not for NATO, because it destroys crucial principles of NATO. So it's impossible to destroy values and rules which were established after World War II, and I think that we will fighting for liberation of our country. It's very important that this war begins in 2014, when Russians occupied Crimea and part of Donbass. Some our warriors now, who has 18 to 20 years, 10 years ago it was children, 8 years, 10 years children. And now elder soldiers tells that this is my children. And 10 years ago I don't finish this war, and now my children should finish this and should pay their lives for this war. So let's do it now, that our grandchildren don't have this terrible suffer and these crimes from Russia's side. So we should finish this war. We have this motivation, our society, our army have this motivation, and we will liberate all of our land. How long it will take, how much we will pay for this, no matter. We should finish this war, and we should bring to Europe sustainable peace and sustainable guarantees of security. Because if this war will not finish, if it will be frozen conflict, if someone will think that we may trade by territories, so it will not finish this war. Russians will take time for bringing back their power, and they will go ahead into ahead again, and not only Ukraine but other European countries will be under their aggression.
So in these terms, you just explain how big is the possibility or small is the possibility to have peace talks, because we see that a lot of countries, and lately Saudi Arabia, tried to bring everyone around the table to find any type of solution with the starting point, the plan your President Zelensky made.
Thank you so much. It is very important how to stop and finish this war. We have President Zelensky peace formula. It's very, very simple, clear and direct formula how to reach peace. First of all, Russia should stop nuclear blackmailing of all the Europe, because they occupy it and manage just terribly manage Zaporizhzhia, the biggest nuclear power station, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station on the European continent, and they make this nuclear danger. So they should stop this. They stop blackmailing of food security, global food security, and open all the corridors and possibility to export. And all the rest points of this formula are very simple, very clear. And negotiation about peace are possible not after stop or ceasefire, but first steps should be they should go out from Ukrainian territories. When we reach our borders, we will begin negotiation about peace. So it's correct rules, because previously we have negotiations, we have Minsk process, we have other formats, and it will lead to nothing, because we have this experience, and all these negotiations in conditions of frozen conflict lead to the hot war. So first step, they leave our territory. Second step, we sign agreements about peace, and everything is finished. Ukraine is most interested in finishing of this war, because we are dying. They try to kill us and to try to make genocide of our nation. So not we are initiator of this war. When Russians will stop and leave our country, the war will stop immediately in this second. So this is important, and this is important for understanding. And because of this, many countries, more than 50 countries now are joining to this peaceful initiative of President Zelensky, because of this simplicity and this direct way how to bring sustainable, very important, sustainable peace on European continent.
Last question. President Zelensky visited the countries around Romania. Shall we expect a visit of your president? I know it's not the case to announce in advance, but shall we expect a visit of President Zelensky in Romania?
Romania is our very reliable and very great partner. So I'm sure that President Zelensky will visit Romania. I will speak with him after my going back to Ukraine. I know that our presidents have absolutely great relations. I know that my president will meet your Prime Minister nearest time. So we have very, very active relations now between our country and between our officials. So I believe that President Zelensky will visit Romania. I can't say the date, but I know it.
Prime Minister, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you so much.